بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. ما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، شر الأمور محدثاتها، كل محدثة بدعة، كل بدعة ضلالة، كل ضلالة في النار. We spoke last time about the beginning of Al-Amara Al-Umayyah in Al-Andalus, and the Umawi Imara or Emirate in Al-Andalus. We said how it was like a separate entity from the rest of Khilaf al-Abbasiyya, especially that Abdurrahman al-Dakhil rahimahullah was a fugitive from the Abbasiyin who tried to kill him, and then he migrated, as we mentioned the story in details. So Abdurrahman al-Dakhil rahimahullah ruled in Al-Andalus and was the Amir in the whole Andalus, as he united it all together, as we said, from 138 to 172 Hijri. 138 to 172 Hijri. Then he died, rahimahullah ta'ala, and we said he was one of the heroes of Islam, Saqir Quraysh. And we said Al-Dakhil was given the name Abdurrahman al-Dakhil because he entered Al-Andalus solo, by himself, and he started Khilafah or Imara. After him, Khalafahu ibnuhu Hisham. And we said that Abdurrahman al-Dakhil had two children, or he was debating who gonna take over after him. Was his older son Abdullah or Sulaiman, or his younger son Hisham? And at the end he chose his youngest son, even though the norm was the bigger or the older son takes over. But that shows you the deen and the knowledge and the fiqh of this man. So he put his son Hisham bin Abdurrahman al-Dakhil after him, who ruled for 9 years, from 172 to 180. 172, 180, very much he followed the footsteps of his father. And there was not much that Abdurrahman al-Dakhil left for his son. وكما قال الأول كم ترك الأول للآخر. يعني هذه حرفناها، يقول ما ترك الأول للآخر. What did the first leave for the last? And he did everything. So we say كم, how much? It wasn't much for him to do, but he was alim, scholar, taqi, wari'. He feared Allah Azza wa Jal. He ruled with justice and with the Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jal. He spread the Arabic language in Al-Andalus. He replaced al-madhab al-Awza'i, or he replaced al-madhab al-Hanafi al-Maliki bil-madhab al-Awza'i. والباء تقترن بالمتروك كقوله تعالى تستبدلون الذي هو أدنى بالذي هو خير. فالباء هذه usually comes in a company of that which you leave. When you exchange something, يعني الدارج and common in the tongues of people is they put the ba with what they take. بس هي الصحيح in the language الباء is associated with what you leave. فقوله تعالى about Bani Israel, when Allah sent them food from heaven and then they asked for garlic and onion, He said أتستبدلون الذي هو أدنى بالذي هو خير. فالذي هو خير هذا ما تركوه، فالباء جاءت مقترنة معها. فهنا لما نقول استبدل المذهب المالكي بالأوزاعي يعني ترك الأوزاعي، ترك المذهب الأوزاعي، وهذا يعني just something not related. مذاهب الإسلام isn't four or aren't only four, limited to four كما يظن as most people think that المالكي أو الحنفي والمالكي والشافعي والحنبلي. في مذاهب كثيرة. والسلام ورحمة الله. في مذاهب كثيرة، الأوزاعي والجنينة والثوري، مذاهب كثيرة، والظاهري، الحزم، المدرسة الظاهرية. بس الله عز وجل and مذاهب كثيرة. الله عز وجل put for those four علماء the students who spread their madhab. Okay, the students who spread their madhab. Other than that, there are many other madhab in Islam. Even Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah azza wa jal, he has his own fiqh. Imam al-Bukhari, if you look at his Sahih, Sahih al-Jami', he has his own fiqh, his own school, rahimahullah ta'ala. But those are the ones that are famous. So that's what he did, very much spread the Arabic language and used or applied or spread the madhab al-Maliki. After his death, after 8 or 9 years, in year 180 miladi, and here we're talking about 900 or 180 hijri, about 900 or 800 miladi, حكم ابنه الحكم ابن هشام. So after Abd al-Rahman al-Dakhil took his son Hisham bin Abd al-Rahman. After Hisham, his son took over al-Hakam ibn Hisham, and he ruled for 26 years. 26 years. كان هذا خلاف والديه يعني أبوه جد. He was completely the other way. والله عز وجل يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي. فنوح عليه السلام ابنه كان كافر وزوجته كافرة، وهكذا ولوط زوجته، إبراهيم والده، والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خلاص هذه حكمة الله عز وجل في خلقه. فهذا لكن سترى تأثير الوالدين الصالحين على ابنه. قول الله عز وجل في الكهف، قصة الجدار، وكان أبوهما صالحا، وكان أبوهما صالحا. يقول أهل التفسير هذا سابع جد. هما when الخضر and موسى عليهم السلام came to this village and they asked them for food and they didn't give them. So Al-Khadr goes to a wall that's about to collapse and fixed it. So Musa tells him, شئت لاتخذت عليه أجرا. You could have been paid for this. These people didn't even give us food. قال هذا فراق بيني وبين. But when he explained to him, he said, this wall, under it a treasure for 2 orphans in there. Why Allah Azza wa Jal sends Al-Khadr to fix this wall so it doesn't collapse while they're young so people will steal that wall? كان أبوهما صالحا. Their father was righteous. So some of Ahl al-Ilm said the father, this was 7th grandfather back. And that is the fruit. One of the keys. If you want your children to be righteous, be righteous. If you want your children to be good, be good. ثم الله عز وجل يحكم ما يريد. فهذا الحكم ابن هشام ruled from 180 to 206. He was tyrant. He obligated people to pay taxes. He was so fascinated with poetry and hunting. شوف, someone hunts deers and someone hunts the heads of the kuffar. He said there, Abdurrahman al-Dakhil had الصوائف, and that is, remember the الهجوم الإجهاضي, preemptive strike. Every year, in the summer once and in the winter once, will attack the neighboring countries to show them that we are powerful. So don't try to mess with us. And his son followed through, and this guy comes, the grandson, to be what? To be busy hunting and poetry. كان قاسيا شديدا فرض الضرائب تم بالشعر والصيد. That's what his concern, poetry and hunting. Because of that, many revolutions took place at that time. Many revolutions took place in Al-Imara Al-Umayyah. The way he used to deal with them, if you remember his father, when they in the battle, how he, when the army was defeated and they ran away, he said, leave them, maybe one day they will be with us. لا تستأصلوا شأفة قوم ترجو ودهم, that one day they might be with us against a bigger enemy. هذا, when they will revolt against him, he will put them down, the revolution down, and then he will burn and destroy the houses of the rebels, and then exile them.
That's Hisham, right?
هذا الحكم ابن. نعم. He will let them out of the country, exile them, deport them, as they say to them. Okay? Even there's Tawrat al-Rabat. And this is Rabat, an area next to Qurtuba. Qurtuba, next to it. So those people had a revolution, he kicked them out. After he burned their homes and all that, they went into the Mediterranean, Mutawassit, and they settled in an island, and they established their own state. And that state lasted for 100 years. For 100 years. Obviously, this is the result of oppression. That's what happens with people. But one of the things he did is he continued his fights. But for what reason? With the neighboring and the Christians, for a different cause than his fathers. As a result of all that, and he's busy with the revolutions, he lost Barcelona. Okay? Barcelona هذه important, because in time Catalonia here on the borders with France. So you're opening a big gap in there. As a result, remember we talked about here, there is Lyon. You remember Sakhra? Lyon here. When Barcelona fell down, there was a new state, a new Christian state established in the northeast. Okay? And this is called Aragon, the Kingdom of Aragon. Okay? So now the Muslims in Al-Andalus are in the northeast. You have Aragon, the Kingdom of Aragon, and then in the north you have the Kingdom of Lyon. And then one more gonna be established in a bit. Subhanallah, before he died, he repented to Allah. Before he died, and he was still in power. He wasn't like sick. He realized, هذه البذرة الصالح, perhaps this is the good seed that his parents implanted. He returned to Allah Azza wa Jalla, and he realized that mess that he had caused. So he turned in that leadership to his, or to one of his children. 2 years later he died. No, what happened? 2 years later from his repentance, he died. After him, his son took over. Abdurrahman ibn al-Hakam, bin Hisham. هذا عبد الرحمن لقب بعبد الرحمن الأوسط. So عبد الرحمن الداخل was الأول أو الأكبر. هذا عبد الرحمن الأوسط, his great grandson. Okay? And then at the end we will have the last عبد الرحمن الناصر. الأوسط هذا ruled from 206 to 238. From 206 to 238, 32 years. His time was very good. he tried to fix what his father messed up. He continued the jihad against the Christian states up north. What happens in his time? ازدهرت الحضارة العلمية. Three major things happen in his time. هذا عبد الرحمن الأوسط. الحضارة العلمية, he focused on science. Science, whether the science of the deen or the science of the dunya. So he funded the research, he funded the ulama, he supported the scholars. It was in his time, Abbas bin Firnas, okay? The first man ever to fly, even though he landed, and what I read, that the right thing, he didn't die. He broke some bones, okay? But he didn't die. Allahu A'lam. But the point is, he was the first man to try to fly. He put wings from feather, and he went on top of Masjid Gharnata, and then he dropped himself. He hung in the air for a little bit, as it took him, but obviously it's not going to keep him up there. He also, this Abbas bin Firnas, اخترع آلة لتحديد الوقت. He created some kind of machine to determine time. Okay? Not exactly the watch today, but that was the beginning of the idea. اخترع آلة تشبه القلم، قلم الحبر. Created something that looks like a pen, used to be for writing. اخترع الزجاج من الحجار. He discovered glass, okay, from sand. هذا عبد الرحمن الأوسط brought the ulama from all over the Muslim world. From Baghdad, from Al-Hijaz, from Misr. He brought them all over, and that created nahda ilmiya, or a revolution in science. He established مكتبة قرطبة العظيمة. He initiated or established the library of Qurtuba, the library of Qurtuba, and we will see how significant that library was. He also was concerned and paid attention to constructions and economy. العمران والاقتصاد. Balanced. He paid attention to that. The money was, the surplus was so huge at his time. There was too much money. As they said, there were no beggars. فقد المتسولون. There was no beggars taking money. It was so much. He, in his time, irrigation, methods of irrigation for farming was developed. رصف الشوارع. رصف الشوارع. We're talking about times where Europe in the Middle Ages was in the Dark Ages. Europe was out of it. And here they started paving and putting sidewalks on the streets in Al-Andalus. أقام القصور والحدائق الغناء. He built palaces and all that, the architecture that we see. One of the important things happened in his time was غزوات الVikings. Remember the Vikings? We said those people, gangs who come from way Scandinavia, Sweden and Norway and all these areas. These people, the way they used to make living, they will attack cities, kill the people, steal their money, burn the village and leave. Just like remind us of the Tatar. Tatar, when they started. That's how they did. They didn't care about settling or controlling it. They'll come to a village, destroy it, kill everyone, steal the money and the wealth, rape, whatever, and leave. Okay? And we know maybe one day we talk about what they did in Baghdad. Allah musta'an. So those Ghazwat al-Vikings and Norsemen, they attacked Al-Andalus. Okay? So what happened? They came to Ishbili, Seville. That was in year 230. They attacked Seville. Here, Seville, Ishbili. They came in 54 ships. Okay, 54 ships. Obviously, they invaded Seville or Sevilla, whatever, Ishbilia, and they caused a lot of corruption in there. As I said, what they used to do, they also attacked Sidonia, and they attacked Almeria, okay, and they attacked somewhere also here, Murcia, okay. So they attacked because obviously it's open for them on the ocean, okay. So they attacked these three cities. So Abdurrahman al-Awsat prepared a big army for them, and he came to them, remember 54 ships, and a big battle took place. Took 100, lasted for 100 days. 100 days, a battle between Abdurrahman al-Awsat, the Muslims in Al-Andalus, and those Norsemen or the Vikings. And obviously, he defeated them, Bi-idhnillah Azza wa Jal, and destroyed 23 of their ships, and they left and never came back. They left and never came back. As a result, here Ishbilia, you have a river, okay? You have a river here. That's how they were able to get into Ishbilia, their ships, okay? Now this river, Guadalquivir, they call it, from the Atlantic. So what he did, Abdurrahman al-Awsat, he built a huge wall, hisn, okay? A huge wall, those walls, Akka, Haifa. So he built a huge wall so there will be no attack after that. He established two fleets, marine fleets, Ustulain. He put one in Mutawassat, in the Mediterranean, and he put one in the Atlantic. At this time, he was able to get this back that we lost, the islands of Balearic or Balearic Islands, in 234 Hijr. As a result of the defeat of the Vikings, Denmark, okay, Denmark, there, sent an ambassador to Abdurrahman al-Awsat to establish good relationships. He came with many gifts, and some people only the language of the fist they will understand. So they came from Denmark to establish a relationship between them and Abdurrahman al-Awsat. As a result, at that point, Al-Amara al-Umayyah finished with Abdurrahman al-Awsat. So we have Abdurrahman al-Dakhil, then Hisham, then Al-Hakam, and then Abdurrahman al-Awsat. Okay? At that moment when he died, this whole thing, Amara, finished. So it lasted 100 years. From 138 to 238. 138 to 238, ups and downs. And very much when he finished, he was, or Al-Amara was very strong condition. The second part of this Amara, completely different. Now everything starts falling apart. To the point where we reach a level like we had before Abdurrahman al-Dakhil came. To a point where we thought, or Muslims thought, it will be over. Muslims in Al-Andalus is over. You have all these states, you have Aragon, you have Lyon, and another state will be established, another kingdom, you have France. So all that made everyone think that it will be over. What happened? And no, that states don't collapse suddenly. You don't go to sleep and wake up and suddenly a state disappears. The destruction of states or the collapse of civilizations is gradual, takes time. Many factors play a role in it, okay? Many factors, and suddenly everything falls apart. But it doesn't happen just suddenly. You don't go from very strong to very weak. Gradual, okay? Many factors. When Abdurrahman al-Awsat died, in 238, his son, okay, takes over, Muhammad. And then after him, 2 more children take over. So you have Muhammad, then Al-Mundir, then Abdullah. So 3 children of Abd al-Rahman, Al-Awsat, bin Hisham, ibn al-Hakam, take over. Muhammad, then Mundir, then Abdullah. And Abdullah hada is very important to pay attention to him. Just remember who he is. His father is Abd al-Rahman al-Awsat, the one who defeated the Vikings. One of the reasons for the collapse now started going down. The Imara al-Umayyah, this era, the Umayyad Emirates start collapsing from now. The reasons can be summarized in few. 1, too much wealth. Too much wealth. Everyone is busy, palaces and enjoying life and entertainment. That's what too much money brings. And I was told that there are some people here, South Florida, who come from very rich family, back home, some ruling family, every day, just on renting place to stay in, big entourage. They spend $250,000 a day. Over 80 Escalades rented. Too much money. Too much money corrupts. Okay? Without ilm, without knowledge, without taqwa, agreed or guaranteed destruction. إذا أردنا أن نهلك قرية أمرنا مترفيها فسدوا فيها فسقوا فيها. قبلية والقومية. Another disease that infected the society in Al-Andalus at around this time. Tribalism. Tribalism. We started having caste system. Okay? I'm Andalusi, I'm Arab, I am Yemeni, I am African, I'm this, خلاص. Community or the society is divided. ظلم الولاة. The rulers are oppressive, tyrants. All these things, none of these things work by itself. None of these things will destroy by itself. All these things, it's mandooma. All these things work together. And the last, is tark al-jihad. This era, this period, from 238 until the end of this era, which is 300. So you're talking about 60, 64 years. 64 years, they started jihad. Too much money, too much entertainment, too much corruption, tyrant rulers. That's what happened. فأنت ما تستعجل. If you look in the Muslim world today, ما تستعجل تقول والله he's been there for 30 years. He's stuck. And inshallah at one point I will tell you why, one of the main reasons why these societies rise again. An important factor that the enemies of Islam realized in the 20th century, and they played hard to get rid of it, and they did. That's why it will be difficult for this ummah to rise. It will rise inshallah, but it will be difficult than before, because here when we talk about 100 years of corruption, then suddenly it stands up again. That means there is some factors within the society were never shaky. They were never destroyed. When we see, as we will come into an era where too much corruption, and at that period there were too many ulama. Because someone say, well, where is the ulama? Where are the scholars? These rulers are tyrant and kings and this spend money. Where are the ulama? We will see where the ulama are. As a result of all this, in this period, the 64 years, too many revolutions all over Al-Andalus. Too many. Everyone is upset. Every group of people wants their independence. Everyone wants to separate from the state or the central government. Some of those revolutions, one took place in Ghirnata, by a man named Hafs bin Samuel. Hafs, Amr ibn Hafs ibn or Amr bin Hafsun. Hafsun هم في الأندلس they will add waw nun at the end of the name, okay, as Ibn. You know how the Russians V at the end, Gorbachev or Hummusov or Rozov or Kalashnikov. ما هي اسم فاهمي Kalashnikov. Don't get us in trouble like it. And now we don't use Kalashnikov. Now we use. Okay, so Amr, so we had a revolution here in Ghirnata, Grenada. Okay? Amr, a man named Umar bin Hafsun, Hafsun يعني واو نون زي ابن يعني. Hafsun bin Samuel, or his name, we will see why Samuel. That was in Babashtar. And that يعني it's known as Bobastro. Thawra, a man with name Ibn Hajjaj in Seville, Ishbilia. Okay, now you see. Thawra in Valencia, right here, Valencia, in the east. Thawra في Saraqasta, Zaragoza, right here. Thawra عبد الرحمن جليقي, that was in the west, يعني around Portugal or Lisbon. Thawra in Tulaytila, the separation between the Christians and the Muslims. You had revolution there. All these revolutions end up to establish something like confederate. يعني حكم ذاتي. Every area rules itself. And of course the central government is in Cordoba, but no one answers to Cordoba. خلاص. Now very much these states are separated, and there are a few more all over. But those are the main ones. You have Seville, you have Granada, you have Valencia, you have Zaragoza, and then you have one in the west. So the state got divided. As a result of that, a third Christian kingdom is established, and that is the kingdom of Navarre. Navarro, not public, Navarre. Navarre. So now you have Navarre, you have Aragon, and you have Leon. Okay? So these are three Christian kingdoms, and we talk Christians, Crusadian, okay, are on the northern borders of the Muslim states in Al-Andalus. As a result, they started attacking the north of Al-Andalus. Okay? The Muslims are divided, so they can attack freely, and there is no emir for the whole thing, no big army, so they started attacking. At that time, Wali al-Ahd of al-Amir gets killed. What's Wali al-Ahd? The crown prince. The crown prince. Now who's the Amir of Al-Andalus? Remember? Abdullah. Remember Muhammad, then Mundir, then Abdullah. Abdullah bin Min? Bin Abdurrahman al-Awsat. He's ruling. His crown prince, his son. Okay? His son. Muhammad. This Muhammad gets killed. By who? By his brother. Okay? Mutarrif bin Abdullah, bin Abdurrahman, kills his brother Muhammad, who was the crown prince. Okay? And obviously, again, the same reasons. Love of dunya, khamr, liquor, all that, music, all that leads to these things. At the same time, around this area in 296, okay, a little after, but we said 300 will be the end of this era. But in 296, a major event takes place in the Muslim world, in Africa. And that is the establishment of الدولة العبيدية. Okay? دولة العبيدية. هم سموا أنفسهم الفاطمية. كذب وزور. هم يدعون النسبة أو الانتساب إلى فاطمة بنت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، وهذا كذب وزور. هم دولة فاطمية باطنية. باطنية كالروافض يعني اليوم. They were so dangerous on Al-Andalus. Okay? We will see the difference between you have a Muslim state here, even though divided, and you have the Christians attacking, and you have a state that they claim to be Muslims. Okay? We will see the big difference between a real Muslim state in Africa and a fake Muslim state. But now we have to deal with the fake. Okay? Later on we will see when a real Muslim state established there, what happens. So those al-Ubaydiyin, دولة شيعية خبيثة, رافضة, and we should differentiate between Rawafid and Shia. But anyway, today they're all in the same bag. متعصبين لبعض. فأنت ترى before a few days back they caught a big ship of weapons going from Iran to Yemen. To الحوثيين الزيديين. Okay? طب ما big difference. بل إن الزيديين أقرب للسنة من الشيعة من الروافض. الزيدية الحوثية في اليمن هم closer to أهل السنة in their beliefs than الروافض in Iran. بس خلاص. Now they put in their head one enemy. That's أهل السنة. This العبيديين, their kingdom spread so quick. Now in North Africa, now spread to Hijaz, Egypt, Sham. Savage, very strong dawla or state. What they do with Al-Andalus? Now they want Al-Andalus. What they do? They start supporting Amr bin Hafsun. Remember Umar bin Hafsun هذا؟ Samuel, هو he split. Okay, he revolted against the Amir because of the corruption and all that, and he had self-interest, as we will see. He didn't do it يعني for the sake of Allah. So those al-Ubaydiyin started supporting him, Umar bin Hafsun, because he was very strong compared to the others, one bin Hajjaj and the one in Valencia and the one in the west, Julayqi هذا. But هذا Umar bin Hafsun was very strong. And he had, Granada was very strong state, or very strong section of Al-Andalus. Many fortresses, many حصون, many قلاع. So they started funding. Exactly, I told you in the beginning, history repeats itself. Exactly how Iran funding Syria. Exactly the same. Repeat itself. And subhanallah, كلاهما باطنية. Both groups. بواطن, Allah المستعان. At this point, the whole population of Al-Andalus gave up. The state is divided. We're attacked north, we're attacked south. They gave up on jihad, they gave up on hope, no ambition, no way we're standing up again. Okay? طيب, هذا Abdullah. Who he gonna turn to? Who is isolated here? In Ishbili against him, in the west against him, in Gharnata against him, Al-Ubaydiyin here. Who he gonna help from? No one. But let me give you what's happening in the Muslim world at that time. المغرب ومصر الفاطميين العبيديين. مصر والشام الإخشيديين. الموصل ابن حمدان. البحرين واليمامة قرامة. أصبهان البويهيون. خراسان نصر الساماني طبرستان الديالي الأهواز البريديون كرمان محمد بن إلياس. الخلافة العباسية does not rule anything. بل إن الخليفة العباسي he was lucky هم they keep him. خلاص the Muslims even though he doesn't rule but they always saw it as a plus to have a khilafah. They always honored khilafah. Khilafah al-Islamiyya never went to absence until أتتهم. Even though it was just symbolic, but it meant too much. So they say Al-Khalifa al-Abbasi reached a point where he did not have a decision on Baghdad. يعني يلا he ruled his palace. Doesn't go any more than that. But they will conquer Baghdad and they will keep him as a Khalifa. So they can keep this symbolic figure al-Khilafah or al-Khalifa. So all this Muslim world is divided at this point. Here in Dawla al-Abbasiyya you can see it's all extended, all there. That's all divided. All divided. Very weak. So no one who could send him any help. هذا عمر بن حفصون in the south started all this mess. Remind me of John Garang in Sudan. You know John Garang? Same thing. وفي النهاية تخلصوا منه. At the end, he got in his helicopter and then he's dead. When they used him from outside, just like Al-Ubaidin used him. The West, Israel using this John Garang until they divided Sudan into north and south. And now they're biting their fingers and toes for them. But they were fighting for it. هذا عمر بن حفصون كان قاطع طريق. إيش يعني لص. He was a thief and he has his own gangs. And because of the conditions and all that, a lot of people start joining him. So he had big group of people, big supporters, and that's when he started all this mess. In 286, he did something strange. In 286, he did a very strange thing that perhaps it will not repeat in Al-Andalus. He became Christian. He became Christian, okay? And he changed his name from Umar to Samuel, okay? He changed his name from Umar to Samuel. What do you think the first thing he'll do? He will ask help from the Christians' kingdoms up north. That's exactly what he did. So now he's supported from the south. His goal is what? To take over. So he's supported by Al-Ubaidiyyin in the south, in Africa, North Africa, and he's supported now by the kingdoms of, or the Christians, Navarra, Aragon, and Leon. Supporting Samuel bin Hafsun. During this time, I will not mention the name. I will give you information about it. And I'm sure one of you will figure out the name. Okay? Because he perhaps more famous in the Muslim world, especially in North Africa, than Abdul Rahman al-Dakhil, than Abdul Rahman al-Awsat, than these big names. Okay? In Baghdad was Khilafah al-Abbasiyya, right? The capital. Again, the weakness of Khilafah al-Abbasiyya, the same reasons. One of the major reasons, too much dunya. Too much play, too much music, too much singing, too much fun, entertainment, all these things. Okay, in the palaces, al-qusur, al-ghawani, al-zina, al-khamr, all that was widespread. So that's why the state was weak. And that's why a state, a civilization will collapse. Especially when morality and the dunya, or morality is lost and the dunya is gained. People attached to worldly things. This guy was a singer. And don't say anything until I'm done, or you're not going to get any check marks. All right.
No cookies?
You want cookies? You better look cookies. Like all right. So he was a singer in Baghdad, and singing for the umara and for the elite people, in the house of the Khilafah. His teacher Ibrahim al-Musili, okay, his teacher in Fusq, started getting jealous of him, because now he's out weighing his teacher. He's becoming more famous than his teacher. People don't want Ibrahim al-Musili, they want him. So his teacher got jealous of him, so he plotted something for him. So they kicked him out of Baghdad. Okay? هذا شيء. So where he gonna go? Where is the situation? Lenders. These people are not familiar with these things. I can be a star. I can bring these great new things to these people. So he went to Al-Andalus. Actually, he got there at the time of Abd al-Rahman al-Awsat. And perhaps one of the faults or shortcomings of Abd al-Rahman al-Awsat, he did not kill him, but he did not put down this guy's star. So he entered, obviously, with his new ideas into the palaces and the umara and the elite, and became famous, qusur, hadaiq, this and that. He started singing to the people. People in Al-Andalus did not know these stuff before. He started singing arts, music. He started fashion. Now they're clothes for summer. It's teaching them, they don't know about these things. Clothes for winter, clothes for the spring. I don't think they had dry cleaners like that. You're looking now, suddenly he's up and he heard the clothes. So, okay, so he brought all these different foods. Now there's food you eat at this time, there's food, breakfast, dinner, these things. Where Muslims then, they eat only when they're hungry. We don't live to eat, we eat to live. And we are ummah that only eats, supposedly, no more. We're only ummah that eats when it's hungry, not because it's time. He brought al-muwashshahat al-Andalusi, some type of music specific to Al-Andalus. Now it's all over the Muslim or the East. He started telling them stories. Old stories, kings, these khurafat and made up stories, fiction. He started telling people are all around him, and he's coming from the East. The East civilization. You have the Persian civilization, you have the Muslim civilization, all these things in the East. So people start getting around him, especially what people like that get market, meta, when people come to them in times of corruption. Such people do not succeed when the ummah is busy with the important things. But when the ummah, the majority of the people in the ummah are weak and gave up and have no ambition, and that's it, that's when these people take over. Singers and music and movies. But when the ummah is busy with the right things, these people have no place in the society. Okay? Learn. These things repeat itself. That's what exactly we're living in. So now, singing and dancing is spread amongst the men. Now it takes another turn, and now between men and women. Okay? Everywhere. Now the whole society is infected with these things. He took people away from listening to the Quran and listening to the Hadith and the stories of the ulama into his stories. There was at the time of the Prophet ﷺ a man similar to them. His name was Nadr ibn al-Harith. Similar. In Mecca, when the Prophet ﷺ came, this Nadr ibn al-Harith, before كان قصاص, إيش يعني? People come around him and he tells them stories. When the Prophet ﷺ came, he went to Persia. Okay? And he learned from them stories. The stories of their kings and heroes and legends and all that. And he came back to Mecca with 2 singers, 2 women. غانية. So wherever he will see people might be going to listen to the Prophet ﷺ, he will send them the singers, or he will go to them and start telling them, I have better stories than what Muhammad will tell you, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. فأنزل Allah, I think this man was killed in Badr or Uhud. فأنزل الله عز وجل, Allah revealed ayah about him. أشهرها إيه؟ ومن الناس من يشتري لهو الحديث ليضل عن سبيل الله. قال ابن مسعود والله إنه الغنى. ومن الناس, from amongst people, من يشتري لهو الحديث, who sells لهو الحديث, the false of speech. For what? To misguide people from the way of Allah. Ibn Mas'ud swears that is singing. Okay? The ulama and mufassirin say this ayah was revealed in another Ibn Harith. فهذا الشيطان, as you see, keeps playing and has his own plans and his own plots to corrupt the society. So after all this, and the ummah reached that level, ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين, in music and fun and the world, and they gave up on everything. They're losing states in the north, they're being attacked from the south. They got busy in الانحطاط والرذيلة, no manners, nothing, lost, no morals. Okay? Who's this guy? زي ريال. تعرفه يا طارق؟ I don't think he reached Kabariya. زي ريال. Very famous figure. No doubt. Until today, people know this name. Okay? So after this, what would happen? So now we're in the year 300. Okay? And that was the end of the Imara al-Umayyah, the Umayyi Emirates in Al-Andalus. The year 300. What will happen? Continue? We continue next time. What will happen? You guys heard the bad stuff. You want to hear the good stuff? Okay? Let's just start a little bit, because this period is very important. Actually, perhaps this period might be the strongest, one of the strongest, if not the strongest period in Al-Andalus. Because of all these revolutions, all these rebels, mainly Amr bin Hafsun, or Samuel now, in the south, okay? The central government is only here, in Qurtuba. That's it. They don't rule very much. Only a few villages around Qurtuba. يعني, if you look to the Andalus and this, about 1/10. 1/10, okay? 1/10 was under Qurtuba, under the central government. Okay? هذا Abdullah. The 3 states, the 3 Christian kingdoms in the north are threatening the north until they took a major state between Madrid and Saraqas. There was a city called Salim or Salim. Okay? I think there's a soccer team from there, right? No. ايش يا محمد قول لنا. Okay? It's about 160 kilometers from Madrid, going east. They took that. In 300, هذا Abdullah died. Remember, Abdullah bin Muhammad died. He had a son. His son, okay, Muhammad, who was supposedly to become the Khalifah after him, was 3 weeks old. 3 weeks old when he died. Okay? Remember that Al-Ubaydiyin supporting Samuel in the south. The negative, no morale, the low morale of the people, no one cares. The whole Muslim world is divided. People need a leader. All the children of Abdullah, who were the one who is qualified, is his son who's 3 months old, 3 weeks old. But he has other children. Okay? All the children refused. They refused to take over. What are they going to take over? A weak state. They all refused. Most probably they're busy with Zuriyat. My life going fine. I'm getting money, I'm spending here and there, I enjoy my life. Why are you going to be bothered now? Revolutions and siyasa and politics. Okay? So all the children refused. So they decided to put his grandson. Okay? His grandson was 22 years old. They put him as the Khalifa. هذا عبد الرحمن الناصر. ماشي? He was known, هو عبد الرحمن بن محمد بن عبد الله ابن محمد ابن عبد الرحمن الأوسط, known as عبد الرحمن الناصر. This man turned weakness into strength, turned humility into honor. Allah Azza wa Jal made things change on his hand. We will see how he did it. Before we talk about what he did, we will talk about it next time, inshallah. Let's talk a little about him, who he is. When his father was killed, remember? Muhammad bin Abdullah, his brother killed him, Mutarrif. When his father, this man, because he became the Khalifa, his father was supposed, the crown prince, was killed. When his father was killed, his grandfather took care of him, Abdullah bin Muhammad. Okay? And هذا Abdullah bin Muhammad, his grandfather, was a righteous man to an extent. So he really raised him right. He taught him the deen, he taught him bravery, he taught him politics, taught him al-wara', taught him al-taqwa. He taught him every element that a successful leader needs. So he was taken care of by his grandfather. Okay? The first thing he did, leave it next time? Next time. Next time. And I started 45. So we can talk for 10 minutes. All right. 10 minutes. I know you guys want to leave. The first thing he thought of, how to get rid of Samuel. Samuel is a threat. Okay? How to get rid of Samuel. And Samuel is murtad. He's an apostate. He became Muslim and now he left Islam. So he needs to be punished. So he revived Ahl Qurtub. He enticed them and he started spreading encouragement and all that, until he took them out to fight somewhere in Granada. After 2 months, only after 2 months he took over, 22 years old. At that time, he gained back Istijan, or Istijan, a city right here between Qurtuba and Ishbil. Remember Ishbil هذه بيد الحجاج ابن الحجاج. So he gets a city, important, very strong city in there. He goes south to somewhere himself. 3 months. For 3 months, Sha'ban, Ramadan, and Shawwal in year 301. Okay, 301, he goes to south to somewhere. In that time, he gets back Ha'in, which is another city between Qurtuba and Gharnata. Jiyan. In Arabic literature, Jiyan. And he gains back 70 fortresses from somewhere. 70 حصن. He gains back from somewhere. But هذا somewhere very strong. He got support from north. He got support from south. He got support from Ishbili. Everyone is supporting. Okay? So that did not shake him at all. So he started thinking, what I need to do. Okay? Abdurrahman al-Nasir started thinking, how am I gonna get rid of this guy? This guy is very strong, too much, supplies too much support. He attacked Ishbiliya. Now when I need to start cutting the support, he attacked Ishbiliya, civilian. And that was a big support for him. Now, Ishbiliya is Muslim. Ishbiliya is Muslim. So when he conquered Ishbiliya, now the Muslim army in there are on his side. So now his army got stronger and stronger. So these people now fighting with him. Okay? So 2 goals he established. He got more power, and he cut the power source to, or supply to Samuel. He returned to Samuel. Okay? Now he gains more stuff. He takes back from Samuel. There's a mountain here. Mountains, Randa. He takes it. Then he takes Sidonia on his way. And he takes Carmona in this area right here. Okay? So all these were perhaps belonging to someone. And then he went south to Madiyah Jabal Tariq. Now he controls Ishbili, so he went south. That was a dangerous step. But why he went there?
Stop the support.
Of who?
Shia.
He went down there, he took over Septa and Punjab. So he controls the Gibraltar, Madiyah Jabal, the strait now. He controls the connection between Africa and Al-Andalus. So now he cuts the supply of Al-Ubaydiyyin. But he also cut off the supply of North Africa, of the northern kingdoms, the Christians' kingdoms. Okay? Because how they used to send supply? They'll go this way, come through here, and come to him here. So now he controls that. Okay? And they're in the north. Okay? So they will go around in the Atlantic Ocean, come through the strait, and supply somewhere in here. So now Abdurrahman al-Nasir is in control of here. So now Al-Ubaydiyyin can go here, and none or no the Christians can come through. So now somewhere, في حيث بيس, stuck. Okay? Somewhere now, no west, no Ishbiliya, no the kingdoms, the Christians, and no Al-Ubaydiyin. So he surrenders. So he cuts a deal, mu'ahada, a treaty, Abdul Rahman al-Nasir with Samuel Hada. He cuts a deal. Samuel keeps 169 fortresses, حصون. Stays in Gharnat. But he controls 169. That was the agreement, and Abdul Rahman agreed. Now why did he agree? He agreed because the whole Andalus was in a mess, big mess. And he did not want to put his whole focus on Hafsun Hada. He wanted to go and take care of the rest. Then he comes back to this guy. Now at least this guy is not growing. He cut all the supplies to him. Hada Abdul Rahman was very confident. So in that time, he started cleansing the government. He started removing the unqualified people. He started getting rid of corruption. He started hiring or putting in charge the right people. He raised the status of the ulama, the scholars of the deen. He applied the sharia. These people aren't far away from sharia. Okay? So he applied the sharia. Yani one thing happened, that his imam, the grand imam of Al-Andalus or Qurtuba, was Al-Mundhir bin Sa'id. So Abdul Rahman Nasir still had those things in him of building palaces and enjoying the dunya and all that. So he built a big palace. So Al-Mundhir bin Sa'id came to visit him one time. So he insulted Al-Mundhir, the imam, insulted Abdul Rahman al-Nasir about how much he's wasting money for palaces and all that. Okay? So the people, بطانة السيئة هذه, بطانة السوء, came to Abdul Rahman and said, fire him. How could he talk to you like that? Okay? He told him, fire him. فقال أمثل المنذر بن سعيد يعزل لإرضاء نفس ناكبة عن الرشد سالكة غير القصد هذا والله لا يكون وإني لأستحي من الله ألا أجعل بيني وبينه سبحانه في صلاة الجمعة شفيعا مثل المنذر في ورعه وصدقه. He said, someone like that I would fire, because he's telling me the wrong I'm doing. He's telling me about how bad I'm doing. I fire him because he's telling me the truth. I refuse, I will be shy from Allah Azza wa Jal to fire someone who can be a connection between me and Allah, like Al-Mundhir. Someone that I pray Jum'ah behind, like him, how could I fire him? So he kept him in his position until he died. Then we will see another incident where Abdul Rahman Nasir builds a palace. The dome or the ceiling of it from gold. From gold. How much money was there? And then we see how Al-Mundhir bin Sa'id does or deal with him. Okay? So this is very much some of the things that he did before or after he took over, and we're still talking about the first few years, first 2 years of him taking over, 3-1, 3-2. Okay? So we'll start with this next time. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد. الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.